Hello, evil children. I mean, hi, everybody. Oh, I see there's already a comment. Someone's saying something. It's recap time. Yes, it is. I was debating on whether or not I should recap the week I missed last week, but I don't think Matt has time because his another game starts in an hour, in like 15 minutes. So I have to be on time today, guys. You can't let me be naughty. You can't get me off track. You totally can, and I probably will. So I got 2 notebooks this time because I ran out of notes on my other one. So we're gonna start real quick with Friday, the one shot. Where it was, where the fuck are we? A 5-foot eagle is a terrifying specter. We found out that we were in the place of the legend of Origin. Um, where all types of people have been, and now there are beasts. And the ivy that grew over the rock is like trying to be a band-aid, but then you touch the flasks and you go down and the Pixis was hit. And then, oh, wait a minute, what's going on? What are you talking about? Leave me alone. I don't know what you're talking about. Some pop-up just came up on the screen. I don't have time for this. Okay. All right. And so then like Bebop tried to pick up the box and he failed to save. So then he opened the box, and then Bebop, Caroline, and Fabula were banished, and they were in this weird like maze all by themselves, and it was an intelligence check to get out. So we were kind of screwed on Fabulo, but that's okay because everyone loves Fabulo. And Evelyn said, "Fuck this box," and dispelled it, and then everyone was out of the box because she tried to save Dr. Dre first because that's her favorite. And to be honest, Dr. Dre was pretty much the badass of the game the entire time. So then like it was like, okay, cool, he's back. And then that bastard killed Dr. Dre, and I thought everyone was gonna riot, but we didn't. It's okay because Grave Domain rocks, and we got Dr. Dre back with 60 HP, and then Dr. Dre got to be fittingly the one to kill the baddie. Okay, and then what was like, well, what's in the flask? And it was like this bone flask, and everyone was like, ooh, let's try to touch it, but they couldn't. And then like Caroline talked with an entity. Teehee. I know who the entity is, and if you know, it's okay. Sorry. Whew. Okay. And it was like, we are the Blue Rose. We are hope. And so they started like making their own Blue Rose Tavern, and they all had to do like certain things to do it. And like Belle Dove was like, I'm going to protect life, and she swore a blood oath on it. And Bebo set up like this cool music to make it feel like home. And then like Amy incorporated the Raven Queen into it, and like Yvonne Iron Man'd into the tavern into existence. It didn't work, but it was an awesome idea. I do know who the entity is. Okay. I know so much more about the Blue Rose than everyone. It's okay. It's okay. Okay. And then they were fighting this big dude, and they were like, we got this. We got this. And like half the people were fighting, and half the people were trying to make the Blue Rose. And Fabio was all like, I'm going to like help people. I do not want a sandwich. Do not put a sandwich on Daddy's desk without a plate. Hey, child, just try to put peanut butter or just straight out jelly on your desk, Matt. Okay. And so then okay, and then Fabio was all like, strength of mind and body and spirit, and they're like, let the spirit flow. And then like Caroline used a gust of wind to try to bring the like entity into the flask, and was like bleeding from the eyes, and she had sick stress from it. And then Belle Dove failed her Aang technique, but would have been cool if she won it. And then Bebo like tried to distract it, but like random ass noises don't work against something that's a bunch of random ass noises. And then like Yvonne back to Caroline, and then Fabulo is right. Everybody just needs a snake hug. And so the snake helped pull the thing into it. So like then we got to like we defeated the entity, so now we get to refound the Blue Rose bar. And so like what's in the bar? And so like this is a really, really, really quick recap. Amy put a mirror that has like raven feathers behind the bar, so like incorporating the Raven Queen. Belle Dove has seating in all different heights, but she also has got some spots on her skin now from her blood pact. Caroline used the bone of her skellies to build the actual bar, which by the way, metal as hell, and I love it. Evelyn has the shifting hypnotic pattern walls to help people forget their worries, but also to change decorations per season. Nice. Bebo has her shadow in place as a way to blanket it from deception. It's the magic guardian of shadow. Fabio has small creatures to test people's characters and by their actions forage the creatures, plus larger creatures to help protect the bar in the area. And now many people have seen the way of the fabulous. So there you go, guys. That's the blue cap for recap. Blue cap. That's the recap for the Blue Rose. Okay. Whew. Saturday Taldora. Because Saturday Rock is no longer a thing due to personal schedules and all that stuff. We will be recruiting again for that at some point. Not right now. We're taking a little break from it with the holiday and everything. You know, nobody schedules what it needs to be, and people are busy. So back to Saturday. Saturday Taldore. Okay. So we were trying to figure out what the crystals did, and what we were trying to mine them out, and we found the constellation of the Changer.
Damn.
I don't want any, thank you, but no thank you. See if Daddy wants some of your jelly sandwiches. You need a sub to dispel these apps. Saya, not on this. I just cleaned up Daddy's work area. Okay, so, whew, okay, so, the guardian told us we could drink the bath water, so we got her bath water, so we got a long rest. And then we were like, well, if we screw this up, we die. So it was accurate. It was pretty damn accurate because we got 2 natural ones with inspiration. But so Nala got while we're trying to pull the crystals out of these totems that have been there from last week. Nala was making goose honk noises. Mortis was Patagonian Mara. Rengar had doe ears instead of regular ears. Uravir had rabbit ears instead of regular ears.
I read chat.
Bim was an octopus.
I read chat.
Yeah, it's my baby girl. And Rowan with tiny little claws, but now he does unarmed damage and has half climb speed. So cool. Nala was absolutely done at this point, and then just went like full Hulk and raged through removing every single crystal from these totems because she was just done with it. No.
Where am I supposed to sit?
On your head. Okay, and then you're offered her a cut of it, and everyone's just a little bit scared of Nala, which is probably smart. Bim liked Uravir's new look, but he said he needed the fluffy tail too. Uravir was pissed off about these crystals, and he raised the dead on the little gnome guy that was working with them, and found out that there was the Guild of Miracles that had given him the crystals, and that it was Davros, and that he was supposed to take the crystals, make problems, and then tell the guild how to solve the problems. And he was found in Iman. Nala was like, can I accompany you guys all to fix this? And everyone looked at the totems and were like, yes, of course you can come and help us. And Rengar was like, can I pet your puppy? And everyone was like, yep. Same. So we made it back to Singorn for another holiday. So holiday in Singorn all. And we were given a heavy lead box. Saya, we were given a heavy lead box for the crystals, and it took 3 people on one side and Nala on the other to carry it. So that was funny too. And then we met with the council, and I want to punch the entire council in the face because they were not helpful at all. They were like, well, we need more proof, and yes, you have this, but the word of the dead, that's nothing, and blah 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 blah. And then so we went to store everything at Rowan's house, and then we met the Fae Council. Yeah, F the council. And then we found out Shiny is the grandson or the great grandson of Titania, and that Baja's pissy. Then we went shopping, and we learned always rehire your guide, guys, and pay her 125 gold to leave a hot date. It's good. Then we had a bar discussion with Nala and decided that they should totally go to the forest for some some brawling in the woods. And then like we were trying to figure out if Eurovir could take a punch, and Rowan sucker punched him, and that's how you play the menagerie. And so Nala clocked Rowan, and now Nala's a member of the team. And that is where we left off. So Mordis still has to have a very awkward conversation with the daughter of the lady that Bim killed in the temple mimic. And then they're going to, I guess, go do some fighting in the woods.
Yay!
Yay! Okay.
We love going in the woods and dying.
No one's going to die in the woods. They're just going to fight.
Maybe they could die.
No, they're not. Okay. So Sunday Pirates.
Hi, art department.
Saya. This is mini art department. I'm trying to do this. I got to be fast because Daddy has the game in an hour.
Okay, wait.
No. Saya, I've already read it. Saya. Okay, so fun Sunday Pirates. We can't find anything. We did find apes, but then we found big apes, and we were like, time to go. We found a shipwreck, the legend. Ooh, secrets. Some people revealed some secrets. We looked around for survivors. Right. We got our very first loot, which was some black powder and some other stuff. We discussed our options and were rudely attacked by Maros. We killed it, and then we found a broken seashell on the wrist, which is a sign that they were mated or wed. And then, like, from what we know is that like their bonded mate will know that they died. So yeah, there's quite right for some revenge there. So we were like, nope, get rid of it. So we tied gunpowder keg to it and let it sink to the bottom. So then we found another shipwreck, and we were like, we're gonna go fight. And best pre-fight question I've ever had in a game is, before we kill you, do you have any candy on your boat? Good question. Friendly reminder also, you do not piss off Wabu because you will get messed up and you will just die. Just die. Wabu will just kill half the enemies in one shot. Tilly's scary too. With her, death is not the end. Now let me rip out your spine for later use. Sorrow just wants his candy. Jacqueline just wants her shinies. Captain Cherrick was having a very, very bad day by that point. They knocked Sorrow down, but it's okay. We got him back up. Wabu baned Captain, and he tried to counter it. He countered it, but being intimidating while blowing bubbles is not a possible thing. We figured out. Oriolander, if you take some, you take a lot of radiant damage. We figured out. And Tilly is... you should have listened to the turtle before she then ripped out yet another spinal cord and rib cage. And then they got level 2, guys. Yay! And then it was the whole when picking flowers go bad and you get attacked by trees and bushes. But it's all good. It's all good. We went and we took care of that. We looted the ship. Wabu got to say goodbye to the old ship. We finally made the antidote. So everyone's feeling good now. We found the journal of Emil. We reburied that area, but kept the journal. We found the cove that said my name is, and we opened it up.
Olindo is off.
Yes, he is. We opened up the cave, and we went in. And another favorite line of the night was, I know that he could see me, but does he... Saya? I know that he could see me, but does he know that I can see him, that I know, or whatever it was? It was ridiculous. Is it the beast or the beast that killed him? It was a really good conversation. You guys trying to figure out what that was. And then Wabu figured out that it was Emil. So we tried to talk Emil down, and we're like, we're not going to steal your pearl, even though Jacqueline wanted the shinies. And Orlander had to talk down Jacqueline, while Caroline had to talk down Sorrow, and then everyone stood down. What? Okay. And then so Wabu and Emil talked, and then Emil just wants to sail, and he's like, well, sail with us. And they're like, cool, okay, cool. So he put the pearl on himself, but he then gave everyone 500 gold, and Jacqueline was cool with that. She was like, I don't need a pearl, I got 500 gold now. Stop it. And then so we have a ship and we have a treasure, and Emil joined the crew, but he gets to name the crew because name the boat because that's the deal you guys had with him. All right. Do-do-do-do. Moving on. So we had what was the one shot? Sorry, I don't know what you're doing. Please back off. Because you keep hitting something and it's making weird noises over here. All right, so then we did
I don't know what I had.
I don't know what you're doing either. What am I looking at? Oh, we had one shot because Rock wasn't all there again. So we did a one shot with Harmony and Riz and Rainer and Adele and Celeste and Crawl. And we were Saya, stop. We are on the one shot for a Sunday afternoon. Okay, so we had it. Saya, no. Because I have an hour to get through this, and you've already wasted 10 minutes. Are you going to be good or are you going to be naughty? Mm-hmm. Okay, so the group of people got together, and then they were like, oh no, there's no Noel attacked, and it ruined this village. And Peter, Paul, and Mary are now officially my favorite spiritual guardians. That's new. And I actually don't have a mini for that. Imagine that. Although now I'm trying to figure out how I can make a mini of Peter, Paul, and Mary that looks like them, but that if we put on, we wouldn't get copyright infringement for it. I'm thinking about it. For a one shot that will never probably be shown again, but that's okay. It's in my brain now. I am convinced that Riz is the mean girl but like the Grease version of Mean Girl, and I'm totally get down with it. We killed some gnolls. We got a gnoll foot chain, and everyone is confused as whether or not it's soul or soul. You do the math. We met Seven, and he told us about a prophecy, which led us to handprints that were the characters' handprints, which were kind of creepy, but okay. And then we reset time, and we heard the hyenas as we're talking about the high priestess. So we're all like, get everyone out! We gotta go do this. And then like we tried to tell Seven to duck, but just Seven wasn't listening. And so Celeste like flew up there and put him prone, and then Adele attacked the archer, and then like Harmony hugged the high priestess and then ran out to where the dead were originally so that she could try to keep them alive. And Riz put Bador's symbol up in the air and was hollering, the prophecy has come, the gnolls are attacking, and like pretty much persuaded everybody with a nat 30 to get weapons and to get the heck out of there. So the commoners all had their pitchforks ready. Crawl was like on the edge of town waiting for like anyone to come in, and so the gnolls attacked and she deflected them and then like fought back, and then like we were like, cool, we got it. And then they attacked like, well, also, okay, I gotta mention Celeste's draconic cries. Okay, usually those are supposed to be like terrifying and whatnot, and like, no, I did not say that. So like she was like, usually they're like terrifying, they give your team inspiration. Hers were totally like BS, like, oh no, don't hurt me, please. It was funny. I loved it. It was a cool new way to see it. They still blew up our apothecary, but we saved half the commoners. We saved 2 buildings from burning. We saved the city hall. Killed all the hyenas. We put out the fires. We saved the water tower, but that came in at the last second out of hiding and firebombed our temple. So we had to restart the day. So that's where we ended it. We're 1 day down. We got 2 days to go. So if we ever need this one shot again, we got it ready to go. And we already know the attack thing. So that was really good. You guys did way better than I thought you were going to do because they give you the 3 chances. I think usually you do not get that far in the initiative. Awesome job. Okay, so Monday Pirates. We spent last week trying to find an object. This week we just cast the spell locate object. Found it was in the masthead. Smashed it. We got our medallion. Tried to give it to Rav. She was like, nah, I ain't leading nothing. Gave it back to the captain. We found 5 pounds of natural Saya, if you're gonna read them to yourself. I have got to get through this. Don't read them out loud, my baby. Okay? Saya, yes, I know, but I only have an hour to get through this. You done being cranky? Okay. We found 5 natural Ethereum crystals, 5 pounds. We got bracers of defense for Bubble Buddy Blot. We sail casual, trying to go into the nth island, which did not work well for us. So we were like, okay, well, maybe we can destroy the ships. You can't destroy the ships. They have a very high threshold. If you can't do a lot of damage, which a cleric cannot do, as I discovered, instead I just carved a dick underneath the mermaid folly, because how dare you? First of all, you are experimenting on merfolk, and then you're going to have the audacity to name one of your ships after us? Oh, I don't think. Anyways. That was just my character getting annoyed. Okay, we docked and we were like, yeah, we're just selling some fire crystals. And we hid our merfolk under the boat because, you know, they don't want to get. And they were like, no, thanks. We'll just take all your stuff. So we fog cloud it and we convinced 3 ether wolves to join our attack. And then we put the Echo at the helm, and we Hercule tried to back up and they restrained him, but he shoved him off and he was like, bye-bye, and he jumped into the water. And the ether wolves attacked, and then like 8 attacks, and only 1 hit Blot, which was amazing. And then like everyone got back on the ship, and then the wolves had fun and distracted the 8 on the shore, so we didn't have to worry about that combat. Then we had ship combat, and I got hit hard from the blow of the cannon. I lost half my health, but I maintained the cloud. So we got out of there, and we were escaping from the 2 other ships. We dropped some mines to escape, but now like the whole island's on high alert. So we were like, great, now we need a whole new pirate crew, and we need to go attack this island. So we went to Port Cairo. We got 2 ships. We missed recruiting the old couple that was like fighting, but we got one of them. We also got mines from the one dude because we told him what they were doing, and he was like, oh, well, I don't think so. We're also spreading the word among the ether beasts about this island, about what's going on. So like I'm about to raise my own island, my own army of just ether monsters. Hercule got a new gun, which he named Shelly because it's a shotgun. Then we recruited Captain Charleston, and he gave us like his entire fleet of 14 ships. So now we have like 17 ships to go into battle with. Hold up, what is going on over here? No, I don't want to talk to you, Siri. So we have 17 ships to go into battle with against these guys. But we have to, like, to get the merfolks on, we have to go to the Blinking Island and find like their, like, get a blessing from the merfolk there. And then we're gonna take the compound. Yeah. So that was Monday Pirates. Okay, Monday Masks. The season finale of Monday Masks. We found the evil demon that was harassing the Monster of the Week campaign was in masks, and he was trying to use the heroes and Betty's dad and her future self and Kelly to power all this. But Eleanor / Abigail, which is really should just be Eleanor, but we got confusion there by missing sheets and whatnot. They teamed up with them, and they took the horns, and then Sally Jane took the demon with her through a portal, and Betty went back to the past, and Eleanor gave up her wolf, and Kodo gave away his memories. All of this just to finish the stupid demon off. And then like Kelly and Eleanor found these little boxes that had blue roses on them and was like, you need to go to New Mexico. And so they were like, sweet. And then Sally Jane's like in an alternate reality where she might be able to find her way back. And then Finn's ambassador, like Koda gave away his memories. So like now, like he doesn't remember doing any of the good stuff. So he might go evil. And so like Finn's ambassador was like, we don't interfere with this. And Finn was like, we don't interfere with this. And his ambassador was like, okay. And then mailed Koda all the pictures of him doing good. And that's where we ended with masks. So we're gonna be starting Blue Rose now. I can't wait. All right, Monday night. Saya, do not be rude or your butt will be spanked on live television. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. Hooey. All right. So Monday night we went camping. We figured out that Palin has neglected his duties and now has homework to learn tiny hut, and self-preservation is a good motivation. Mother Esme is, kind of off of tea right now. She's not really into it. Now I've basically been all, how do I say no to this? You don't say no. Say yes. Always say yes unless it's drugs. So then we talked about some funny tea, and Esme talked about the talent show at the convent, and it was a big knee slapper. Marvelous pulled out an act, and then was like, it was a bit. And Marvelous pulled actual bit for like a horse, and was like, unfortunately, the leg was broke, so we did slay it. So many horrible puns ensued. I love it. What do we know about Archfey was the question asked by Dewdrop, and we got some backdrop on Dewdrop about his family, and like they couldn't scry, so he was wondering if it was an Archfey. And then Esme got to play like a commune conduit for the Moonweaver and Dewdrop, so that Dewdrop could get some answers. And the Moonweaver sent an emissary. We found out that Dewdrop's family is alive, but they are being captured and tortured in the Feywilds. The Traveler was the vagabond who told him about it, and is the passage in Singorn. So they were trying to decide, will they go to Singorn? And so they were like, well, I don't know. And then Marvelous was all like, quick, Palin, I need 2 platinum. And so Palin gave it to him, and he's like, all right, cool. That's the start of your repayment. And Marvelous, I absolutely adore that you are going to drag out this payment of 500 gold. Just like 1 or 2 platinum at a time. Love it. Good Night's recap was priceless, of all the things, like being like, 1, we have a green dragon. 2, we have to do with Esme's mom. 3, we've got a divine gate. 4, we've got Dewdrop's family. Legend lore for Takesis with Palin, Shauna, and Dewdrop. We just need that last pendant, man. And we could have the moon pendants again. We saw a black coat with purple feathers. We saw different draconians that were different from the draconians that we are aware of. We saw dragon armies conquering and poisoning. And there's always a smiling woman in the background. We saw her bond and trapped, yet her influence was still reaching out and for others to do her bidding. We saw Palin's staff with a man and a woman in white. We saw other gods flee, and she tricked them and stayed behind as like the last god. When sometimes she's a woman, sometimes she's that 5-headed dragon. She was like the last god, but then the Daughton father came. She was beheaded, but her spirit fled through a crack and slipped through and was bottled and contained in the temple until Esme carried the disc out of the temple. And now the woman is walking right beside Esme. So we got a god on a plate, y'all. Marvelous, agree with you 100%. Worst church service ever. Our Marvelous also has a beautiful poker face, as he's all like, and then the minute Esme's not looking, he's like, okay, let's do this. Palin had special tea, and he's got to see multiple hands and a lady watching him. We have no idea who it is. Saya, move my chair. Critters and Shauna discussed art, family, and the upcoming missions. Esme talked to Mom again and was warned again not to come. Shauna then decided, well, I'll just scry on the Awakener, and foreseen Nat 1 for scrying. Beautiful, Shauna. Okay, and then like it was breakfast time. She was having multigrain bread, honey, and butter, which is all that Esme really wanted to know. She was looking at some runes, and she was trying to use them to affect Titans. So yeah, that's not good. And so we came up with this plan of maybe we show her Esme's collar, and then she's more inclined to see us all. Dewdrop. I absolutely love the conversation between Dewdrop and Esme when he's all like, if this goes bad, will you be okay? And Esme's like, absolutely not. Esme's in such deep denial. Shauna threw up some see invisibility to see if they were being scryed on. And saw the woman in the black coat still following Esme around. So, yep, she's still there. And then of course there was a dragon, a platinum dragon eye over Goodnight scrying on us. We are the most scryed on party. We're just popular. So now we decide we need code words instead of saying the real things that we're trying to say. Dewdrop had an oh crap moment. We let Esme go off by herself, and after Esme. Meanwhile, Esme's out trying to find honey to make honey for breakfast for her mom, and meets this young man who goes up and gets Saya. You were gonna chew like a cow, do it elsewhere. Otherwise, chew like a normal human being. Thank you, my love. Anyway, so this young man Pip gets Esme some of the honey, and then he does like a deep bow to Shauna, and there's a horrible poor insight check, and Shauna's trying to like figure out what's going on to see if like this is really the purple cloak figure, and instead sees like the metal boot standing behind her, and Shauna's all like, "Can you understand me?" And the voice is like, "Yes, and if you break my niece's heart, I'll kill you." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And then like the footprints for Pip aren't matching up, and they're like, he's like he's on the front of his feet, not the heels. And then like Shauna's like, "Hey, do you know if there's any good nuts here?" And Pip's like, "I think I found some," and was trying to make a joke, but let's be honest, they're all little nuts. And then like Ozzy growled at Pip, and so like now everyone's suspicious of Pip, and everyone's like, not where you're not from where you say you're from. So they pay him, and he leaves like real quick because he's all like, these people are psychos. But then when he tries to leave, like a bush that's like a foot away from him moves like when he moves. So like obviously magically disguised. And Ozzy's a good boy, so why wouldn't we trust Ozzy? Meanwhile, like Shauna is like bartering with squirrels to get nuts. And there's like this discussion on who the real weirdo in the woods is. Is it them or is it us? And like the mistrust of Pip. Are we following Pip? Are we stalking Pip? Like whole conversation. Hilarious. We like, and then like Esme sends sending to Pip is all like, you know, we got off on the wrong foot. Yeah, I hope we can be friends. And he's like, sure, we're all good. We'll meet again in a large populated city. And then like Dewdrop was like, all right, let's break wind, and everyone flew to the west. They got to a frozen tundra, and they're like, okay, that's cool because we got the hut. We'll be fine. We'll just dunk down here. And then like Goodnight steps out, like they do the little tiny hut, and Goodnight's like, I'm just gonna check because Goodnight's paranoid like everyone else at this point. And it's like, I'm gonna sense undead, and it's right above the tent. And they're like, oh crap. Okay. And then like Palin made daylight in a dark forest on accident, letting everyone know where they are. And then a mist comes through the hut, and everyone had to do a con save, and they were frightened or paralyzed. And we got a dragon baby. Oh yeah, here we go. So we got a dragon fight, and Cricket is crazy for taking shots and staying outside the dome. Where everyone else was like, I'm gonna help, but from inside the dome. And then like the ghost dragon is like, they figured out it's made from emotions, and like there's a force keeping it there, not letting it pass on. And Marvelous was like trying to like hurt it with one of his spells, and he was talking about like all these things, and the dragon's like, you don't know pain, loss, or death. And Marvelous was like, yeah, that's why I talked about love, duh. So it's funny. And then like Goodnight's throwing hammers at it like he's Thor. And then like the dome comes down, and Shauna attacks. But as the dome comes down, the dragon just... And that's where we ended. So there's a cliffhanger. So Tuesday night, we are in Rexentrum. But we kind of popped into the middle of Rexentrum, like past the gates, not like caring about like protocols. So like the minute we popped in, we're all like glowing with purple runes, and like guards are pushing people out of our way, and everyone's looking at us, and we're like, what do we do? And Shiny tries to ask the guard what's going on. They pulled a sword, and they're all like, they won't answer any questions. And then this lady shows up, and she's all like, dropping the invisibility spell, and she's like, she doesn't trust their clothes or their weapons or the people. And Marlboro's all like, look, I'm from Wrench's Brand. Had his cloak, and so she was a little bit better. And then like she's like asked Mars who he was, and he had like a deception of 34, so he ain't Mars. Who's Mars? We don't know who Mars is. He's Cyrus. And then like they were like, well, you know, they've heard of the Wizards of the Roast, guys. Wizards of the Roast has made it to Rexentrum. And then like they showed her the timepiece to let her know how they got past all of her you're such a goofball. How they got past all the like the charms and enchantments of Rex and Trump. And so then they were like, well, you know, we just wanted to go to the archive, and Marlboro wanted to look at new coffee shop locations. And so they like gave them guards for everyone, and they were really smart because they gave like Marlboro like the seasoned guards who were all like, and they were like, okay, fine, but you're gonna have an escort. And they were like, fine, okay, we'll take an escort. It's all good. It's fine. Yeah, yay, escorts. And so like they Marlboro went to like go near a library for the shop, and like the rest of them went to the library, and Derek had like a 10-minute bathroom break with farts included to not be suspicious, so that he could trigger his modified memory thing, that if he says, are you sure, modified memory comes up. Mars got some reports on Singorn about the refugees and Artagonan's Way and the dead Archfey bodies. Derek got stuff on Stratfell and the Marquis and the Shatterkai Forest in Hupperduke, specifically in the Shadow Cleft, which is part of Zoros Karas. There might be some vestments there. There's the Lotus Den in the Greenwood they need to look at. Shiny got a burnt paper picture of a city with a skeletal dragon and no flesh, and a meteor that fell from the sky, which was really a crown with 7 flowers and 3 vines and a single emerald, which Shiny recognized as Titania's crown. So that was like 20 days ago in Zadash. And then like the question was, does Shiny want to steal this picture? Of course. Saya, did I say no on my lap?
In the middle.
No, baby. No. No, baby. So, of course, Shiny wanted to steal it and did an amazing job on stealing it. Derek asked the important question of whether or not the flower that Shiny needs to steal is the last rose of the lion heart. And now there's a one-tooth bet as to whether or not Derek is correct in that. They're planning their Marlboro was planning the expansion of the. Sorry, you're hurting me. Get off. Marlboro was planning the expansion. He got 1,000 gold grab bag of magical items. So he also did a little bit of planning of seeing like where they could go and what they could get in that city for Wizard of the Coast. They went and met back up with the lady so that they could be like put in the books, and the vibes totally changed because she has a necklace that can let her see right through Mars's disguise, find out that she knows is Mars's brother, and that Mars is formerly of the Argent Trust. So, you know, she gave them a mission to steal some information and copy some plans. So they went to Saya. They went to the Bleeding Boar Heads, and they got free room and beer because of Derek's modified memory. Shiny got wine drunk, which was not good. One drink Shiny is sassy. Then they went down to the Eastern Tangles trying to find Zergoth, this shady man, and follow the Manicore Tail.
They got into something.
Okay. Well, that's always fun in our house. I don't know. He got into something, guys. So then they went through some fake walls. They found a manhole cover and a powder trap. And there's Goliath. Like, what are you doing here? You're not here for pleasure, obviously, because you're too shady and looking around. And then it was like, oh, great. Now we got to fight a Goliath, and he can take away strength points. So that wasn't fun. And then Derek was done with it because one of the archers hit him. So he fingered of death the archer and the Goliath. And they dead. They both dead. So now Derek's got some mummies. The sole survivor went to call the guards and was running away, and Shiny was like, hey, no, quiet. What did you get into? And so like now he's running away quietly. Mars opened the hatch because Shiny loosened it for him. And then Marlboro got a dagger of shadows. Derek has, like I said, the zombie buddies. Everyone went down the hole, and we closed the hatch. And now we're going down these tunnels, trying to figure out. We decided to take the one that doesn't look like the drunk people went down it, but it's like got the powder everywhere in it. So like now we're sacred flaming our way down a tunnel. That was Tuesday night. Wednesday night, woo, pirates, downtime. So we had a meeting with IDOC because he was like, excuse me, I need to talk to you. And this is like 2 weeks after they've decimated the pyramid and everything's starting to go better. Mal was exhausted. Jajal was all fancy. Tonk was exhausted. Cal was busy but not armored and not dirty because Cal has a daddy that told him you need to look nice. And Thola's regal ass had some coffee. So Tholo's been working on the crypts and a temple to the gods, even though the crypts are empty, which is a little bit worrying. Tonk's been mending everything and checking on with the Ents. And no, you do not send an invoice paper to the Ents. Okay, that's wrong, Thola. Cal was working on cannons and mending the island defenses with his dad. Dajjal checked in with Gaius and then was like being Mal's shadow as needed and transporting him places as needed. But the compass that they got from the Blue Rose still is pointing off of Darktoe. We found out the plant harpoons that they used against the Wild Bloom are missing and that the Concord took most of the ones that they know of, and the ones that are sunken, we have no idea. Mal restocked the treasury and like, you know, had some like conversations with the dragon that's down there, trying to get him back to full power, meeting with the Concord and the family tensions and previous leaderships and pressure on the Concord. Then we find out there's pressure on the Concord not to keep the timeline and the ceasefire because they want Darktoe back as part of their government, which that ain't going to happen. We're not allowing it. And then when we met on IDOC, we got to see everybody's favorite NPC, Steven! Yay, we missed him. And he basically told them that IDOC's moving on in 6 months. You can't convince him to stay. He'll help if the agreement is broken. Jajal wants him to visit, though, and Tonk wants Steven to visit. And then he delivered a package. He asked them to deliver a package to the Red Dragon, which is like a pearl with like, or it's like a big black shell with like 5 pearl clasps, and it's to not be removed from the vault. It's to help the Red Dragon regrow some of its strength. And then like there's going to be a small formation, according to IDOC, is ripping open the fire elemental plane and forming a place to commune with him. Fair enough. Steven's going to be fancy later to the others. We'll get back to that. Tonk's just keeping busy to not think about Bingles. Jajal and Cal are asked to go meet with a former defense guy who's a Drow, Shenrin of the House of Glass, who basically confesses to a crap ton of murders, including those of Bingle's students under Wyatt's orders. We found out that if you say treacherous beep in the throne room, I've got kids listening, that if we say that in the throne room, like a section will open up and it'll reveal their heads in a chest. Jajal tells them that he has to go to each and every family and tell them what happened and ask for their forgiveness. The guy said, I'm not asking for their forgiveness because I don't think that should be put on them, but I will go and tell everyone. He gives Jajal a platinum key that has a 3D flat-sided device inside of it, symboling the Luxon, and says that it was on one of the artificers and it was sacred to his people, so he refused to give that to Wyatt. If he survives telling all the families, he can come back to Darktoe. Now we were going to go into the first 6 months. Tonk's replacing the cannons. He's making sure that there's a fireworks show to celebrate negotiations, basically to be like, hey, we're armed better than we were before you started this fight. He did recognize some part of Bingles' work on the cannons. Tinker's check of 40. He's got it. It's good. Later in the day, Steven did show up to the ships to inform them of IDOC's plans and his awareness of the treaty by, showing up with 2 Krakens per ship. He was fancy, y'all. I love Steven. Okay. Mal had Jajal build a spy network throughout all the continents, maybe using Tholo's brother, Thiel. Thnei. Theniel. Nathaniel. Oh, I couldn't think of it. Okay. Dajjal has the deets in the war room too in the roast. He made sure Tonk sat down first before telling him everything from the meeting with the former defense guy. And when my favorite part of that entire thing is he's like telling Tonk, and Tonk puts down what he's working on, and Dajjal goes, "Oh fuck, oh no, oh no, oh no, no." And Tonk's like, "Okay." Calmly walks out of the room, goes to the next door, and all you hear are plants and birds. And yeah, Tonk's gone. He went to Kaya. He was like, "I'm done. I need a break." Dola's education is not without cost. All important lessons leave a scar. Hi, beautiful. Which I love that line. And then like they were trying to figure out how they're going to tell Bingles about it, and they don't know. Thola has to reinstate the Crypt Keepers and figure out what they can do for the city and for the people. So they're talking about soup kitchens and helping everyone out. Helping everyone out that way. Dajjal went to Shady Creek to help with the spy network. And then he got a message from the Platinum Dragon Temple in Nicodranas saying that, like, we would like to meet with you. And this is the one that they gave all that money to. So they got to see all their money and good. Saya, stop trying to get on this chair. You're going to hurt me, baby. I don't want to get hurt. So they got to see how all their money's being spent. And then they found out that they had a gift from Port Damali from an orphanage there because they have mutual contacts. And that the box weighs about 500 pounds. So Dajjal and Thola were like, oh, we're going to have to get through that with that. And then the Temple of the Platinum Dragon gave them a golden statue of a canary. For any of you who don't know what that is the legendary, wondrous figure of the canary. You can look it up. It was money well invested, guys. And then so like they were like, should we open the chest? Should we wait to open the chest? Let's wait. Let's go get coffee. So they got some coffee at the Wizards of Roast. And then they did a little bet as to whether or not the painters that they stole dye from and paint from would still be down at the beach. They are. Their places are a little better now, probably because of the cash they left them. But Grip is doing better, although he's a worse businessman. So they got back with the box. So Caldron wanted to talk to his siblings, and like, so he contacted the bear, who's the captain of the ship they're on, through Thola. The bear was like, oh, interesting, they're related. Now he's got leverage. So now they're trying to figure out, crap, how do we get our Cal's siblings off this enemy hostile ship? And so then like they contact the brother, and the brother's like, we're going north. We've got the Rudidium flag flying. Told them Duff Comp and the island of Isercross. And so now like we're trying to figure out how do we get them, because now they're on a ship that's aligned with the vampires, and now their lineage is known. Oh, 6 months time got stressful quick, y'all. And so like they were like, great. So they were like, okay, there's a secret passage, we gotta figure this out. The hag responded. I love the hag. That woman needs a higher place in the thing. She's like, she told them the plans and how to get through the secret passage down to Isercross. And like, so they were like plans upon plans, and they were like, all right, we're going to try invisibility with Cal and Dajjal, and we'll just see if we can get there. Thola put up a statue to her mom, and fuck you, Thola. I didn't need to cry, but I did. Dajjal and Cal were off by 1,200 miles, and they were cold and in the water and exhausted. So they tried again, and then they were floating on ice. And then they got home, and like they used the third jump to get home, and they were frozen and they were tired, but at least they have a direction to go in. And that is how we ended Wednesday. Thursday, the influences. So we got the names of the people who are guarding us, which is Marjar, Kran, and Karik. And they'll come to Rothholm and help train the guards. The doors are, we had a whole discussion about how doors are nobody's thing, and doors are evil, and they're always the big bad. They got through the barricade and were really creeped out because the next part of the library was all clean and packed and all sweet and nice looking, but there was no elf tracks, and there was books on everything. Peppy found books on King Nador, who in like the Broken Vale Marsh, which is now part of the Deadlands, but also the Verminlock and the Wildwoods. And she might have family there. We got a kick-ass spell book. There's history books. Then we found out like it's the archive of the Silent One. And then we went to the next room and we tripped a rune, and then Rip got hit by lightning, but then it was okay. And it's a massive room of arcana and nature books. And Peppy's, oh my god, because Peppy's like, imagine if it belonged to us. And Rip's like, that's what got us almost killed. You're not supposed to be like greedy. And she's like, I only said imagine. It was killing me. It was a good 5-minute conversation. They have invisible cleaners, makeshift bed that was empty with a treasure chest. Absolutely adored the paranoia of the makeshift bedroom where you guys spent like 10 minutes trying to figure out if there was something evil going on in there. And we found a good gnome book about vanishing into the darkness, a mystery novel. And then like we saw it the next door and there's like a perpetual buzzing behind it. And we were like, we opened up, big dust clouds and a cloud of insects, close the door. We found out it's a perpetual bug storm. We were like, not happy. We did some mage hand rearranging with some books and opened a new passageway and just out of there. We met some goblins and some kobolds, and Commander Kane, who is very hospitable and let us rest, told us that Mavis and Travis were the elves that were watching the place. We have to obey the laws, which, we don't break them, and they're basic laws, nothing bad. They have a cannon. Peppy, Saya, I see. The Peppy wanted to shoot Silver in the cannon. I think Silver just wanted to shoot the cannon. They marked the plate. They found a marketplace in Harry where there are wargs for sale, but you don't want to buy them because they're really feral. Peppy got some new recipes. We did a mini shopping trip. Someone needs to buy Peppy some potion of love. We met Commander Lacey, who told us King Harry wanted an audience with us. And I like him. He's a big bugbear that was eating raw fish when they showed up. He wants like an alliance and a protection and a shipping with Rothholm thing, and we can unite the dark tunnels, and we can clean them out. And we found out that Roshana has a secret army in the tunnels, and he gave us some special mushrooms and some books and a romance novel. And then we discussed about, how many rooms would they need, and that they sleep in a cuddle pile. And everyone's on board with the cuddle pile except for Ray. Ray does not want to be a part of the cuddle pile. I don't know why. And then we went back, we opened the Dragon's Hoard, and there were 6 cases and 6 keys and 1 chest with an arcane lock on it. And we were like, oh no, and the cases are identical and the keys are identical. So we tried to thorn loop a key, and it was like, oh, it's an illusion. So Ray was like, forget it. I'm just going to run through and grab the key, and then ran through and all the keys are fake. And she got poisoned from it. And then Rip was like, forget it. I'll thorn rip the chest. But it wouldn't move because the chest was immovable. And then we were like, oh, by the way, Ray has the key around her waist. And they were like, well, maybe we should open it. So Peppy goes and opens it and gets poisoned. And there's a leather bag and an immovable rod. And she's like, oh no, wait, let me take a potion. And then Peppy tried to run back and got hit again with more damage and was literally 1 point from insta-death. So good job drinking that potion. Pony Rip was like, I got this, and ran in and got her out of there. We turned the bag inside out. We got lots of money, some gems, and some invisibility potion. Silver was like, you almost died, but we're rich. And Peppy was all like, worth it. And then forget you with your immovable rod. We've got an immovable baton, which is even cooler. We took some books. We took the Mirror of Life transferring, which we covered. We put it in our cart, and we headed back to Saya. And we're headed back to Rothholm. The only problem with that is that our cart is sinking and we're about to be attacked by basilisks. And that's where we ended Thursday. So that's the catch up, guys. So tonight we are going to do, excuse me. Yes. Tonight we have, I'm talking still. Tonight we have our session 0 of Dragonlance PM. So that's going to happen tonight. We've got open games for Monday AM with Pirates. We have 1 opening in the Monday Blue Rose game. One opening, guys, if you want to join it, or if you know someone who's looking for a game, it's a 5 p.m. game on Monday night. We have 1 to 2 openings on Tuesday. Thursday, we have openings. Come join it. Insane campaign. Absolutely love it. We are getting rid of the D&D 1. We're going to just go back to regular D&D, and we're going to stop playtesting that. So you don't have to worry about that. Friday AM, the Dragonlance has openings. Saturday Rock, like I said, we're going to, that's to be determined. We're going to get back to that. If you check in Discord, you can see the, you can see the dice previews because we got some of those back. Journals are restocked. We also
That teacher.
Saya. Stop. And we've got some new shirts for the 100-meter Zadash that everyone wanted. In the shop, we have shirts and hoodies. And I think that's everything. So I'm going to put this on the end streamy thingy that Matt does. I don't know. You can make end music, but I don't think it matters. Where's my mouse? Okay. So that's all I got, guys. Matt, I don't know how to end this. Okay, bye, guys.